Welcome back to the Messy Cook, and today we are making English pound cake. This is something I'm doing for Christmas, something my dad always really likes, and I don't make it very often. It is something my mom made at Christmas time, and she put in green and red maraschino cherries, which is what I'm going to do today because it's kind of festive. So pound cake is always traditionally is a pound of butter, a pound of sugar, a pound of eggs, and a pound of flour. So we also add in a couple of other ingredients, vanilla, some cream of tartar, a little bit of salt, and then cherries if you want. So I've added in 2 cups there of butter. It's softened to room temperature. What we want to do is we want to bring that, whip it all up, and then we're going to, sorry, I should say cream it. We're going to cream the butter and add the sugar in. So we'll get this going at medium speed. There we go. Get that going quick so it whips up nice and easy. We just want that a little bit lightened, and the color already is lightening up. So we're going to stop that, pull it up. I'm going to scrape the edges down. So you're going to scrape periodically just to make sure we're incorporating all the ingredients well. So I'm going to add the sugar in here, which I have to the side. Now I say a pound, a pound, a pound. You can measure, but this recipe I will show you after is 2 cups of sugar, 2 cups of butter, 9 eggs, 3.5 cups of flour. And if you measure all of these out, it's about what that equals out to be. So we're going to add in, put this back down here, lock it, and I'm going to start adding the flour in. So I'm going to continue to let this go. I will add a 2nd cup in and let it whip for a minute, and we'll come back. Okay, so just finishing up whipping. This has been going for a couple of minutes. You can see the sugar and the butter have turned quite light in there, if you can see that. So I'm going to zoom back out here. Okay, so I'm going to scrape the edges down one more time, get everything off the beater as best as I can. And what we're going to do is we're going to add in to this, we're going to add in 9 eggs one at a time. So I have cracked them already into the bowl. Just want to scrape the edges down here. A bit goopy, but that's okay. We just want to scrape as best we can so we get everything incorporated. And so like I said, I make this generally at Christmas time because that's when my mother made it, and that's kind of just been tradition for me. But if you think about it, this actually could be a really lovely cake to do in the summer without the cherries inside of it, and just do it plain. And when strawberry season comes along, you could put on some fresh strawberries and some nice sweet strawberry juice, and top a slice off with that, and maybe some whipped cream, and have a lovely little dessert there. So, okay. So anyhow, so I'm going to pop this back down. We're going to add the eggs in one at a time. I've put them all in a bowl, as you can see here. These are farm fresh white eggs because the regular ones upset my stomach for some reason. So we're going to plop in one at a time and get those incorporated. So literally just plop until one egg yolk goes. I'll move this up a bit. There we go. Get another one in. More. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this mix. I'm going to continue to add the yolks in, and I'll scrape down after every 3 eggs, and then we're going to come back for the next steps. All right, so that's all been mixed really well, and I've scraped it down a few times in between. We are going to add 3.5 cups. So I'm going to mix my dry ingredients separately. So I'm going to do 3.5 cups. Well, there we go, of all-purpose flour, and I'm going to sift this just to make sure there's no lumps. Now before I started, I did preheat the oven to 325 degrees because that's the temperature we're going to be cooking this pound cake on. Well, that was a perfect about 3 cups there, and I just need another 1/2 cup. So yeah, so I did the oven on 325. That's preheated, so make sure you do that ahead of time. And that's 1/2. And I also sprayed a couple of loaf pans because this makes 2-pound loaves, and I've put some parchment paper on the inside, just on the one side, so it'll be easier to come out. I'm going to just sieve this through. probably a bit much in there, but I'm gonna just sieve that through, and we're gonna add in some salt and cream of tartar shortly. Okay, so I've put the flour through a sieve. I want a teaspoon of cream of tartar, so we're gonna put that through as well. I also want half a teaspoon of salt. I'm just gonna shake that off so I don't get that. And we're gonna put that through as well. So pretty simple ingredients for what we have here. We're gonna sift that through. There we go. I'll use a spoon and just give it a little mix up to make sure it's incorporated well. It's always best to incorporate your ingredients and mix them all ahead of time, so when you put it into your wet ingredients, it incorporates well. So I'm gonna put this on low because otherwise I'm gonna have more than a mess, and that won't be fun. So we're gonna add a little bit in at a time, and I'm already spilling it on the counter, so maybe I'll do a tablespoon at a time until we get to the end. And mix that up a little bit more, and just add and incorporate slowly. We don't want to do too fast so it doesn't blow all over the place, so there we go. A little bit at a time. Now at the end I will put the vanilla in, and we'll get that mixed out last. Make sure it's incorporated well. There we go. So I'll continue to add this in, and we'll get back to the vanilla in just a second. Okay, so I've just added that last little bit of flour in. And we're going to let that mix for a moment or two. I'm going to grab another spatula. I'm running out of them here. There we go. Put another spatula. We're going to shut this off. I'm going to tilt her up, and I'm going to make sure we get one last good scrape inside and out, because this is a big mixture. And we want to be sure we get absolutely everything. The other important part is getting right to the bottom there, because sometimes you get dry ingredients that will stick at the bottom, so we don't want that. There we go. Perfect. Now, if you don't have vanilla, you don't have to add it. It's not going to be the end of the world. If you'd like a little bit different flavor in here, you could make this orange by adding some orange flavoring. You could add a bit of citrus peel if you wanted, you know, just to change the flavors around. You could sprinkle chocolate chips afterwards at the same time that I'm going to put the cherries in it, or just leave it be. So I like it just simple, and I like it with the cherries. I may do one with cherries and one without. So if we don't eat it all over the holidays, then we'll have one plain one. We can have whatever. So I'll do this last mix. There we go. I'm going to add the vanilla in at this point. 1 teaspoon of vanilla for this. Add that in. Yeah, pure vanilla is great. If not, regular is good. So I'll add that in. A little mixy mix. Close this, and one last scrape to get it all mixed in so that vanilla flavor goes through everything. All right, so let's get that one last mix in there. Because my fingers are clean, I'm just gonna get the rest of this off. Don't want to miss a bit. There we go. Let that mixing for a moment, and we'll come right back to get it in the pan. Okay, so it's all mixed well, and what we're going to do is, this makes 2 loaves, so I've got 2 pans ready. You can spray and flour the pans if you want. The recipe calls for buttering the pans and putting in wax paper, but this is an old recipe, so parchment is kind of a new wax paper. I don't know if I'd want to put wax paper in it, but we don't want the wax coming off. So what we're going to do is we're going to put half of the recipe in, well, maybe I'll do quarter the recipe in this one, and we're going to do one at a time here. So excuse my fingers, they are clean. I'm going to put the half of the batter in here, a little bit more, and we're going to put in a mixture of red and green cherries. So this is a very thick batter, kind of like if you've seen my brownie recipe. It's a thick batter like that. So you want to put that in. I'll wipe my finger off here on the cloth. There we go. And we're going to add in some green maraschino cherries. These are like the glacee or candied cherries you just get. We buy them at the bulk barn. So you can also use the cherries that you do buy in a jar. Just strain all that juice out and make sure you pat them dry, because you know, they can tend to leak juice, and then you got like a pink, odd pink looking pound cake. You don't really want that. So we're just going to throw in some cherries I like to press them down a little bit so we get them different areas throughout the cake as it bakes, as it rises up a little bit. You know, you want to have a few different colors in there, so put a few more there, and we'll add some greens. This is really lovely for when you slice into the cake. You'll get a nice slice with some cherry in it as well. So again, be sure to push some of those down. Half one there, so we'll get that down as well. And I'm going to continue with this. I'm going to add on some more batter, another maybe an eighth of it, just enough to get over the top here. Spread that over like so. And then we can add some more cherries on. So we're just going to layer it like that. And again, like I said, more cherries. So we'll continue with that. I'm going to do the other one, I think, just plain. So I'll add a few more in here, and we'll come back before we put it in the oven. Okay, so I've decided to do just one plain. A little bit more there. And this last one here with the cherries, as you can see, I've put about 3 layers of cherries in there. So I just want to try to cover them up. If you peek through, that's not a big deal, but we want to get a little bit that cake over the top as best we can. So you could make this with margarine if you prefer not to use butter, or if you're dairy free and margarine is what you use. It won't taste quite as nice, and I don't know if the consistency will turn out quite as well because there's a lot of oils in it instead, but you can certainly try it. I don't think it'll hurt. There we go. And that is basically it. So we just want to make sure that's nice and easy, even so you can see. I'm just going to squish this bit in the corner. There we go. So we want to even them out. We're going to pop these in the oven. Again, it's 325 degrees, and we're going to bake them for 1 hour. So at 30 minutes, I'm going to switch them in the sides of the oven because I don't want to, I want to make sure they cook evenly, and every oven has a hot spot or two, so we just want to be sure that they're going to bake evenly. So I'll pop these in the oven. We'll come back at an hour when we're ready to take them out, and I'll see you soon. I wanted to share the pound cake recipe. This is in my kind of old, well-used book. So let's see here. So 2 cups of butter, 2 cups of sugar, 9 eggs, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 3½ cups of flour, 1/2 teaspoon of cream of tartar, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 cup of maraschino cherries, red and green, that's if you want. So basically cream your butter and sugar really well. You're going to add the eggs one at a time. Mix that really well. Add the vanilla. I added it at the end, but it doesn't really matter as long as you get it in there. And you're going to mix everything until it's well blended. Add the dry ingredients and mix until everything is blended. So then you're going to put into 2 greased and lined lined with parchment paper pans. It says wax paper on this recipe, but that's what we used to use. Parchment I find is a little bit better. So 9x5 loaf pans, so 2 of them. Bake it for 1 hour at 325, and it can be frozen. So we're going to come back when that's all set and baked. Okay, so the pound cakes are done. This is the one with the cherries in it. You can see one of them there. So this has come out beautifully. What we want to do is we want to stick a toothpick down in it and make sure it comes out clean, which this one has. There's a bit of butter on it. I'll use a fresh one here just to be safe with the other one. This is the plain one. And again, it's come out clean. It is a little glossy because they're made with butter, but this is basically what they look like. So I can see the parchments come up to the side here. So we're gonna let these cool completely. We will take them out, and I will take a slice off of one to show you what it looks like. Smells amazing. And these actually cooked for about almost 90 minutes instead of an hour. I'm not sure quite why it took so long, but it either way, just adjust according to your temperature, according to your oven, and as long as that toothpick comes out clean. So we'll come back and show you when it's all done. Okay, so I've decided not actually to cut into these loaves. I'm going to let them finish completely cooling, and I'm going to package them up for the holidays. So again, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe and share the video with your friends if you like. Let me know if you try this and what you think. And let me know if you try anything different with it, like adding any citrus or cherries yourself or chocolate chips, whatever you like. Take care, Merry Christmas, and we'll see you again soon.